welcome to the first official episode of Brittany B TV. I'm Brittany Brown, master coach and founder over at beatingbingeeating.com. Really excited to have you here. Every Tuesday from here on out, you will receive a video post from me. In the post, I'm going to answer questions from my readers and followers, one question each week. And in honor of it being the first episode, I figured I'd answer the question that I get asked the most, and that is, Brittany, how do I beat binge eating? Really big question, loaded question with lots of answers. So I figured what I'd do is I would give you the number one framework that I coach from, and the number one underlying framework that really allowed me to heal in the process. So for those of you that don't know me, I suffered with various forms of eating disorders from the ages of about 14 or so to just a couple years ago, actually. I'm 28 now, so it was a pretty long battle, at least 10 years. Everything from non-purging bulimia to binge and emotional eating to chronic dieting, yo-yo dieting, gaining the same weight over and over, losing it, gaining it again, more or less, everything. Hiding food, hiding eating habits, eating too much, eating too little, excessive working out, not working out at all, diet pills, oral steroids at one time, what else? Different health concerns, so thyroid problems, adrenal problems, kidney problems that got really serious. It got really scary, and I don't want to make the whole video about my story. I just wanted you to know that I've been there, and I share my story in detail in my free ebook. And there's also 7 principles in there that I use to beat binge eating with some action steps to help you. I'm going to put a link for that below the video, so if you do want to read my story in detail, it's there. But for now, just know that I've been there. I've been in some really dark places with it. But the cool thing is I've been in some really good places, and it's actually allowed me to heal. And now that I'm healed and working through things and have worked through a ton, it brought me here to you to help you heal too. So the main principle that underlies everything that I do is food and weight issues are not actually about food and weight. I know that seems a little out there. Before you X out of the screen, hear me out for a second. The reason I say this is because we are conditioned as society to fix problems, fix things that we don't want. So my body looks this way, I'm going to submit, put myself through this terrible restrictive thing so I can get my body to submit and go to where I want it, or I don't want to binge eat anymore, so all I'm going to do is focus on these strict rules and strict guidelines to get me away from my binge eating. And it's really easy to think that unwanted eating habits or weight is something that we do need to fix or a problem that we do need to solve, but that actually just makes it worse. I like to think of unwanted eating habits as a magnifying glass into the parts of you that need to heal. So before I go there, let me talk about external quick fixes and why they don't work. You can see that they don't work because 95% of people that go on a diet lose the weight, maybe lose the weight, gain it back, and then gain some more. And you can see the population of our country that's overweight and obese despite the crazy amount of information out there, crazy amount of diets and all of these things. It's because weight and food are not an external fix. It's an internal job. If you think about it, a diet is really just like putting a Band-Aid on an infected cut. That's how I think of it. You have a cut, you don't feel like dealing with it, you're just going to fix it as quick as possible, toss a Band-Aid on it. Little do you know, this thing is infected, it's going to come and bite you in the ass worse than it did if you would have just took care of it and healed the underlying cause in the first place. So that is what I like to do with my clients and in my programs, and that's what I urge you to do. Because the truth is, your true self, and whatever you believe about that, so your true self, I think, I'm pretty spiritual, so I think like divinity, my higher self. My true self, whatever that is to you, knows, and it's programmed by nature to be strong, to be healthy, to thrive, to make healthy decisions, to support it to sustain life as best as possible. Compulsions, binge eating, overeating, alcoholism, any type of addiction, surfing Facebook, surfing Instagram, anytime you use anything to flatten your life out, to numb yourself out, to escape, that's a compulsion, and all that is a disconnection from your true self, from your higher self. So what I urge you to do is take a different approach. Use these compulsions, and if you're watching this, yours is probably food like mine was. Use these compulsions to shine light on the areas of yourself that need to heal. Ask yourself questions like, when do I check out? What triggers a binge? What emotions are causing this? What am I escaping? What fear am I trying to avoid? To give you an example from my own life, I didn't realize that I was deathly afraid of vulnerability and being exposed. I always prided myself on being genuine. Even if I had been hurt, I always thought I led my life with an open heart. I always thought I was authentic. But little do I know, it was more of this exterior shell like a front I was putting on. It wasn't conscious, it was subconscious. I tried to look like I had my shit together, and I was deathly afraid of someone finding out that I didn't. I was very afraid of speaking my voice in business, in life, in social settings, in relationship especially. I was deathly afraid to share my truth out of fear of being exposed or not liked or even abandoned. And when I started to look at my relationship with food and really look at what I was escaping when I chose to overeat or binge eat or try to control my body with crazy working out or whatever kind of control or perfectionism or whatever I was doing at the time, it changed forms a lot. When I really looked at that, it uncovered areas of myself that I needed to heal. It uncovered areas of myself where I was disconnected from my true self. So I went in with a coach, multiple coaches, lots of schooling, lots of tricks, lots of methods, and I went in and I healed. And there's still parts of me that I need to heal. Not perfect by any means, none of us are, but the more I healed, the more I worked through those underlying things, the less I needed food to cope. When you need food to cope less, your body balances out, you lose the weight, you keep it off. And so there's so much more than diets, exercise, the perfect routine, controlling your body, forcing your body into submission, what you're eating, what you're not eating. There's so much more underlying that has to do with your food choices and that has to do with your body. Your food choices and your exterior manifestation is just a manifestation of what's going on the inside. So in my coaching, I really help my clients bring awareness to these patterns. Then once we have awareness, we can shine a little light and love on them and reframe the patterns. What I mean by light and love is this. So I think of these patterns. This is our mess. This is our shadow. One of my coaches taught me this. And actually one of my favorite authors, Debbie Ford, says, throwing external fixes on things like positive affirmations or, my gosh, even a diet. It's like putting ice cream on top of shit. It can look really pretty and good, and it can sound good, and they're good things, but if the shit isn't figured out underneath, you're not going to get anywhere. So what we do is we bring this shadow to the surface, and if you think about it, what happens when you shine light on a shadow? It disappears. So we shine a little light and love on it, and then we restructure and reprogram these brain patterns so healthy choices become easy. You fill your life up with other things besides food. You can actually live and you can be free. And if you think about it, operating from a place of freedom and joy and bliss and all these wonderful feelings is so much more sustainable than operating from a place of fear, guilt, shame. Fear, guilt, shame, feeling like you're bad, eating bad, forbidden foods, binging, feeling guilty, all those things, those all go with dieting. Those all go with exterior fixes. Coming and operating from a place of fear is not sustainable. You just can't do it. There's no way for it to work. So in my program and approach, and what I urge you guys to do is really operate more from a place of love. Uncover the mess, reframe it, reprogram it, so the changes that you make, external and internal, can last for life. All right, so what I'm going to do for you is include a journal exercise to help you with the first step, and that's the awareness. So use this whenever an urge strikes, whenever you feel the compulsion coming on. There's going to be a ton of journal prompts that'll help you dig really, really deep, and that's the key. Dig deep, and I want you to write this in a journal. It doesn't help as much to do it on a computer, so handwrite it in a journal or on a piece of paper. Dig deep, get into those patterns, see what's really going on beneath the surface. When you've answered a question, ask another question. Dig a little deeper. There is always another layer. If you think that you're scared of what other people may think, no, it goes deeper. You're scared of vulnerability. You're scared of exposure. You're scared of abandonment. Even deeper than that, there is always another layer. So dig deep, I urge you. The deeper you go, even if it's painful at times, the more that you can shine light on what needs to heal and really help your true self shine through. What happens when your true self shines through? Before I go, I have to say this. Healthy choices become easy. And I want to make one disclaimer. When I mentioned no dieting and no restrictions and things like that earlier, in no way am I saying that healthy eating, healthy nutritious choices, working out, things like that, those are amazing. You need to be doing those. But here's the trick. Doing them from a place of love instead of a place of fear and restriction. In my program with clients, I layer those healthy choices on one by one. We reprogram the mind the entire time. That way, every choice we make, or every healthy, protocol or principle or suggestion that a client takes on, it sticks and it lasts. And what happens when your true self is shining and you are free from the struggle? You get to show up. You get to live, you get to be free, and you get to share your gifts in the world without binge eating, without how you feel about your body, without shame and guilt holding you back. And that's my mission, to give that to you because you deserve it. If you need any support once you start uncovering these patterns, please reach out to me. Brittany at beatingbingeeating.com. I will jump on a call with you in a second and help you work through whatever you're going through. Or you can just head over to beatingbingeeating.com. Click on contact and all my information is there. So I hope you enjoyed the first episode. I'm super excited to be here and to be doing this with you every week. Next week, we are going to talk about willpower. I get questions about willpower all the time. I'm so excited to share my insight on it. It's not what you think. There's good, bad, and ugly to willpower. And it's definitely probably different than anything you've ever heard in that world. So I'm excited to bring that next week. Have an awesome day, and I will see you Tuesday. Bye. All right, so what I'm going to do for you to help you with this first step, the awareness aspect. Kitty! The cat's... Sorry, my cat's scratching her cat post. Hey! Kitty! Come here. We have a crazy cat who's clearly been binge eating, but anyway, take two. What I'm going to do for you is include a journal exercise underneath this. Take three. All right, what I'm gonna do for you is include a journal exercise. The cat, come here.